there's a line that like really, really sticks out to me that I keep repeating in my head. And it's, "Caroline, remind me one more time how to get away from the crowd." And I think I was thinking very like metaphorically. You know how like Caroline got outside the city, went into the ocean, this freeing, very vast, beautiful ocean. But I think I'm starting to take that like very literally, and just to get away from like people, because it's just loud. It's really loud.
I read this yesterday. I want to read something to you.
This is the quote. "And every day, the world will drag you by the hand, yelling, 'This is important, and this is important, and this is important. You need to worry about this, and this, and this.' And each day, it's up to you to yank your hand back, put it on your heart, and say, 'No, this is what's important.'"
Probably in the last few months of a huge spiritual growth period, I have started to hear a voice. This voice is very powerful, yet incredibly quiet, and usually sometimes a few words, maybe even one word. And this voice is very connected to who I am and the things that I desire deeply. And since I've been listening to this, it's led me to create some very powerful pieces of art. But it seems like the more I try my best to listen for this voice, the louder this world gets.
You know, I don't want to go into like a monologue about Cornel West, if we had talked about him.
Oh, yeah.
I love who that guy is. He owns, I think, 5 of those suits. It's a 3-piece suit, it's all black. And he says, unless I'm in my bathrobe, this is the only thing that you'll ever see me wear.
Comes out of the 6th chapter of Ephesians, put on the whole armor of God. So every time I put my clothes on, I'm feeling good, but I've also got my armor on. Because life is a battlefield, just as it's a festival.
Every morning is a celebration and it's a war. And so every day that I wake up and I get ready to walk into the world, I'm walking into a banquet and I'm walking into a war. And so every morning I get up and I put my armor on, I put my suit on, and it takes time, and I prepare myself to walk out my door and to enter into that.
And so you know that you are ready for combat, that you're ever ready for engagement on the one hand, and yet you try to remain open enough, or even humble enough to surrender to the fun, or surrender to the love, or surrender to the joy that you get on the festival side. So it's a fusion of battlefield and festival.
And your heart is being fought for, and your heart is being fought against. And so what do you do in the morning? What are the practices? What are the disciplines? And it doesn't need to look a certain way for you. Like, I don't care what that is, but does the way that your day begins, do you set it up where I am starting the day by listening?
So what is the plan? What are the actual tangible things that I can do to embrace the battle and embrace the banquet? How do I get my body and my spirit ready for this life? I came up with 4 different practices that I will do every single morning. Almost a routine, my Ephesians 5 of putting on the armor before I go outside. First practice is to not touch my phone until I'm outside of the house, which means I'm gonna need an alarm clock. Haven't used one of these things in forever, but I'm sure I can figure it out. My phone will also not be in the same room that I'm sleeping in. Second practice is I'm gonna have to eat. Some people might think this is a given, but I actually struggle to eat breakfast. Honestly, I struggle with having 3 meals in general a day. In my head, life is just too busy to stop, make a meal, and eat it. And so I tend to skip meals a lot. So my breakfast of choice will be a smoothie with an iced tea. I know it's nothing crazy, but trust me, this is a big commitment for me. I need energy for the day, so breakfast of any kind has to be a priority. The third practice on my agenda is to do my morning pages. Morning pages is a strict discipline created by Julia Cameron in the book The Artist's Way. It's essentially a stream of consciousness journaling habit that happens every morning on a daily basis. The idea is to write 2 to 3 pages of longhand of any thoughts that come out of your head. Fourth and final practice to do, which this will probably be the hardest for me, is to have 5 minutes of silence. Being in silence without anything to watch or distract me is going to be super outside my comfort zone, but this is just a chance for me to listen. I feel like I'm going to be tempted to use my phone in this, so I actually am going to use an hourglass instead to time my 5 minutes. Alright, well, that's it. I guess I'm the guy who puts his counseling sessions on YouTube now. See you next time.